arise in support of this bill. I'd ask unanimous consent to have the remainder of my comments inserted to the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
I'd like to reserve the balance of my time, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Utah reserves the balance of his time. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. At this time, I would like to yield 5 minutes to the gentlewoman from the District of Columbia, Ms. Eleanor Holmes Norton, who is the sponsor, the lead sponsor and the driving force behind H.R. 2092.
This time, the gentlewoman from the District of Columbia is recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the chairman of the subcommittee, Mr. Lynch, not only for yielding to me, but especially for his hard work on this bill. And I thank our ranking member for his important work on this bill as well. I want to associate myself with your remarks, Mr. Chairman, and simply to indicate that this land is already in the possession of the District of Columbia, and yet the subcommittee had to be at pains to make sure that the reversionary clause was in keeping with the last bill, which I also sponsored, and with the changes we have asked for. The district took what was an abandoned man-made island, but in our most valuable Anacostia River, and tried to make something of it when it looked like there were some people who wanted to make a children's theme park. That did not occur, and yet it was left with a bill that said this shall be a children's theme park, or it reverts. It was up to me to come and change the reversionary clause when the district abandoned the idea. And if I may say so, Mr. Speaker, I am pleased that the district has abandoned the idea and wants to use Kingman and Heritage Island to revitalize the Anacostia River and to essentially return this plot of land to use as a environmental natural reserve park, which will help to restore the ecosystem and provide usable space in addition for people who want to enjoy the river and enjoy nature in a place that is really in the middle of the District of Columbia big urban center. The district also wants to build an environmental education center. You can see how much the uses fit the land than even a children's theme park. I am particularly enamored of the Remembrance Grove. We've not forgotten the 3 children who were on the plane that went down on 9/11 who had won a contest from the National Geographic Association and who were looking forward to that trip. I am particularly pleased that the city's new plan complements, my own work on the Anacostia Watershed Initiative bill, which this Congress passed last session. I thank the chairman and the ranking member, and may I thank Mr. Rehal and his ranking member as well for waiving jurisdiction and allowing us to get on with the work of taking the Kingman and Heritage Island back to nature where it belongs. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman yields back the balance of her time. The gentleman from Utah is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, this is a good bill with a lot of good work behind it. I appreciate the work that my colleagues have done on this bill, and I yield back the balance of our time.
Gentleman from Utah yields back the balance of his time. The gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just simply ask all members on both sides of the aisle to support this measure sponsored by Ms. Eleanor Holmes Norton, delegate from the District of Columbia, and also supported by Mr. Ray Hall, the chairman of Natural Resources, and I yield back the balance of our time.
From Massachusetts yields back the balance of his time. The question is, will the House suspend the rules and pass H.R. 2092 as amended? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, 2/3 being in the affirmative, the rules are suspended and the bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. For what purposes does the gentleman from